which is devoted to the papers and the contributions that have been submitted to this conference and that have been finally accepted by the scientific committee. We are out of time, as you know, so the coffee break will be postponed at the end. And we will manage this session as it has been done in the previous one. So I please ask you to chase the different speakers in order to make them any kind of question during the coffee break. I must start then with a chain REST application use case on data management. I will try to be as short as possible, and the same request is being done to the rest of the speakers. So chain REST project is the legacy of chain, which is devoted to harmonize and coordinate the different efforts that on infrastructures have been made with the support of the European Commission in different regions of the world. These are the data of the project, which have been already presented by Federico in this conference, and this presentation is focused on WP4 data infrastructures and use cases. You can find information about the work that has been carried out by the project and this work package in the different deliverables that have been published in the web page and are already public. And you can find that the link. And the last one that has been produced is D44, which regards the different use cases that have been selected in the different regions as a potential success story that will demonstrate the use of infrastructure for different users. So such a work is based on different tools that have been developed by the project and different strategies. These are easy access to provide to tools by means of identity federation, so no specific requirements are needed to access these infrastructures. A semantic enrichment and related search engine, which has been already presented by Roberto this morning. A science gateway, which is a front end for the easy submission of jobs. And the use of persistent identifiers to uniquely relate data and data sets. So the knowledge-based infrastructure has been presented by Roberto. It counts on different information. The first of them was the information about different sites and grid infrastructure which are all around the world. And now it provides information about open access data repositories, open access document repositories, and now educational repositories. You can see a snapshot of the knowledge base with red and yellow markers. The yellow ones are those that have been incorporated by means of direct action of chain REST, and the red one has been automatically harvested. So just clicking in one of those markers, you can find information about the different repositories that are hosted by that. So the work, technically speaking, has been made based on standards. You can find there a list of them, because the vision of the project is the sustainability and to build on things that will last in time. So about open access data repositories and document repositories, you can find in the website of the project different tools to look for data sets and documents. So for example, you just select the language in which you are wanted to make the search. You can simply type a term, and just the project, the semantic engine will provide you with the different results that are incorporated into the knowledge base. These results are linked directly to Google Scholars and different references, and are already ranked according to different bibliometrics parameters. After that, you can also find semantically enrichment search. So the tool just directly informs the user about a new knowledge discovery, which can be made based on the author of the publication, the topic, and different items that are just in a roll-up manner. This vision has been envisaged in the data accessibility, reproducibility, and trustworthiness challenge, which has been named DART, has been also presented by Roberto this morning. It is based on a demonstration for using different infrastructure that was carried out in the EGI Technical Forum 2013. And it represents the typical science loop that a researcher must do whenever he wants or she wants to perform a research. So it has to access different services, data and tools, so it profits from the Identity Federation's capacity. So it can log in into academia scientific database or the NREN database. Then he makes the search that I have showed before, just looking for a specific term. So it can find the data, and also this kind of information can be extrapolated to any different user, not only the scientific one, but also, for example, from the academia, the different universities that will be interested in adopt this standard. They can search for any other kind of information. For example, just think on student record, just looking for a new qualification mark for an exam that has been done, and these kind of things. It just provides profits also from a friendly front end for the execution of jobs, the Science Gateway, which is a tool for processing, for example, different qualifications, in this example that I have made regarding universities, or just for the purely execution of scientific jobs. And finally, you can find a retrieval of results for future storage in profiting from the persistent identifier schema. So a new digital object is performed. This schema is just summarized in this representation that is depicted on the screen, and it has been just already tested with a database with counts on chemical data. So just returning back, you can see that a user makes the search. He found the result in some datasets repositories, for example, those which are depicted, which are dataset and Zenodo. He or she just extracts the data. They take them as an input to be executed on a Science Gateway, which is provided by ChainReds and many other projects who have adopted this solution. He just incorporates this data. He just performs his/her calculation. He obtains a result, which is depicted on the left. And after that, he has two different options. One of those is just upload that output results in the data repositories so the cycle can be restarted again, which is just depicted in the upper arrow. So just moving to the different use cases that have been adopted by the project and are just demonstrating the usefulness of using infrastructure and this kind of services in the different regions which are approached by the project. I will start with Abinit. Abinit is devoted to the calculations of quantum chemistry and physics of material domains. It's a worldwide well-known application, and ChainReds has working on providing an MPA-enabled version, which is very useful for the execution of more demanding calculations. It is available via the ChainReds Science Gateway, but also by means of the Tunisian one, which is a very huge step forward. And it's running on sites in the Arab region, also settled in Africa, in Latin America, and Europe, so it is just widening express. And also training activities are being carried out by our Tunisian colleagues, which is very important, so new users which are interested in this application can be trained, they know how to submit the jobs and how these things are working on. Also, a different use case coming from the Arab region is the CMS Square. This use case is important because it is mainly tailored to the so-called long trial of users. I mean, those single users who do not belong to a specific big experiment, like, for example, one that can be installed in CERN or any major facility. They are on their own, but they can profit from this huge pool of resources that GRID has, just by using one application which is already integrated in the ChainReds. So it is a good example. It comes from the interest of a Jordan professor who just really make a lot of executions, mathematical executions in this domain, which is approached by CMS Square, which is looking for magic squares. These executions of the jobs are being run in both in the Arab region and in Europe. Also, the project is just interested in exploiting infrastructure in different in the other regions. So, for example, in Africa, we are working with the African Populational Health Research Center, which is a very strong consortium in Africa, and it is providing data for health and social interest. So many institutions and organizations and even governments are profiting from this data in order to profit studies about future diseases that could come, how new health policies could be carried out, and so on. So the project is supporting HPRC by providing persistent identifiers to the different data sets, so the exploitation of this data will be much easier in the coming future. LAGO is the Latin America Giant Observatory. It belongs to the astroparticle domain. It counts on different detectors all around the American continent, and the project has supported this use case by porting to the grid the Corsica code, which is very well known in the area. Now it's being able to be run on grid. It is providing also the previous DART schema, so now the researchers coming from LAGO can perform the whole cycle in an attended way. And also is supporting then, of course, with the assignment of persistent identifiers. Truth Reader is the Chinese use case, is devoted to the finding of new molecules of interest, and it's very important because it's based on the Boeing infrastructure, so it counts on citizen science. Many researchers are profiting from these tools, and ChainRest has supported the use case by providing cloud environments. So now the pools are being increased, and the project is also supporting the use case on installing the image from the Truth Reader application in different sites, not only in China but in Europe and in other regions of the project. A huge exploitation of this application is being carried out, and we are very expecting to increase these numbers. And finally, GROMACS, which is also a very well-known application. It is being supported by the Indian community. As in the previous case of Abinit, ChainRest is supporting the project by providing a new MPA-enabled version, and the new version, which is also already available by means of the Science Gateway, can run different jobs in the Arab region, in Latin America, in Europe, and of course in India. And also training activities are being carried out by the Chinese team with different R&D centers. So coming to my conclusion, ChainRest is targeting scientific communities with a worldwide presence. Regional use cases are in a good shape to become real success stories, and we have 6 months ahead to provide this. And ChainRest has been working on developing tools with exploit current data capabilities. We have provided the DART challenge, which covers the whole scientific loop that is usually being carried out, but also can be applied to other domains. And the data concept has been easily adopted by other purposes and academia and also scientific ones. Also, if you are more interested in the DART challenge and the DART tool, you can find friendly videos in the ChainRest webpage. And that's all. Thank you for your attention. And thank you. We must move to the next speaker. Next speaker